Hello, welcome to the SMunger channel. My name's Steve, and today we're going to be going over how to make Next Gen skins for the Next Gen mod on BeamNG.drive. It is a very similar process to how you would be doing the Gen 6 skins for the Camaro, Mustang, or Toyota. There's a little more to it. It takes a little bit longer, but it's still mostly the same process. And you can even use Blender to load the models up instead of just having to keep relaunching the game to check your progress on your skins, or you can keep relaunching the game if you want to, whatever way is easier for you to do it. But for the sake of today's video, I think I'm just going to use Blender. I'm going to show you guys how you can use the Blender application to do that. So, first things first, just like on the Gen 6 Camaros, you're going to start with a Vehicles folder. And inside a Vehicle, you're going to make a new folder. I think we're going to call it Cup Gen 7. We're going to use my test sessions folder for my SMunger Cup series test sessions with the next gen car for reference. So yeah, it's going to be Cup Gen 7. And then you're going to make a new folder inside of Cup Gen 7. And it's going to be named Schemes. Don't know why I did that outside. It should be in there. And then inside of Schemes, you're going to put the name of what manufacturer you're making your skin for. If it's a Chevy, if it's a Ford, if it's a Toyota. For today, I think I'm just going to make a Ford. We're going to make another test skin for myself. Inside of Ford is where you would put your... that was from a previous recording. Inside of the Ford folder, you would put the folder name for your skin. And whatever you name this is at least somewhat important to the rest of your scripts, your JSON, and your JBeam file. So whatever you name this, it has to match the folder name. So I'm going to name this folder Munger1. And inside of Munger1, you're going to take the schemes and schemes.materials JBeam and JSON from another skin file, whether you get it from the mod itself or from a skin pack that's out there for the mod, whatever it is. You're going to copy the scheme material file out of there. You're going to paste them in, and then you're going to open schemes, and you're going to take a look at what this is. Now, I copied this from my Season 3 test skin for the SMunger Cup series. So I'm going to open BeamNG real quick so you can see what I'm talking about here. This is the skin in question. When you go down to Paint Scheme, you just select the driver's name on the list. And then you click Paint Scheme and you'll see Paint Design. And right here you'll see one skin there, because there's only one option for my driver under the 83 banner for the moment. That could change in the future, but you'll see what I'm talking about when I get in here. So here on Paint Scheme is this line right here is the name, line 5. In the brackets right there, SMunger Cup Series Season 3 dash number 83, Stephen Munger. If you go into BeamNG and you click on Paint Scheme, that's what you'll see right there on the list. Now, when you go back in here and you look down here under name, and it says KFC all capitals, that is that is what I have it named under Paint Design. So these are important to make note of. So I'm just going to copy this, the Munger on line 1. I'm going to replace it with Munger1, hit replace all, and it should change that everywhere on this line right here. It changed my last name to the script line, so I'm changing it back. And I'm thinking of changing to the 35 for next season, so I'm just going to put 35 there for now. This line right here, on line 16 next to name in the brackets, this is the line, again, that comes up under Paint Design in-game. This line right here. So this isn't as important to be the same as the rest of everything else, but it is important to make sure you name it correctly so you can find your skin easy in the parts menu. You're going to go down here to global skin or to line 13 or to line 10. Wherever it says the old global skin name, you're going to change that to what you want your new skin to come up as. So we're going to go with Crown Royal. Replace, it should replace 3 times. And change the author's name too. I'm just now noticing when I did the Munger change. So it should have my new line of Munger in the script lines except for the name. Should have my new skin name in the lines except for the drop name. It should just be the name of what I want the skin to pop up in game, which is going to be the same thing. I know this is pretty confusing to tell from one another, but it's just how it works. So anyway, I've named it to where my driver's name will come up in the skin selection, and then when I click his name here, line 16 where it says Crown Royal will be what pops up in the selection. So we're going to go to Scheme Materials. The next thing we're going to do is the same thing as before. We're going to go through and change all of the old driver names, and then we're going to change the old skin name. My skin name is always a sponsor, by the way, so if that's confusing at all, I hope that clarifies that. All of this should be correct. Going to save that, and the next thing we're going to need is a template. Generally speaking, when you would want a template, if you're making a skin, you would go into the Gen 7 mod, the main file, and you would go into templates and you would pull one from here. However, I'm using a custom SMunger Cup Series template, so I'm going to copy and paste that into my new file there. And what you're going to want to name this is going to be whatever you put as the skin name in the scripts dot color. And we're using this for reference again. I know this is the PSD file, but I always start with the PSD file. I rename it to that way, so it's just easier for me to save it, not have to worry about renaming it. And when you're done with your skin, you'll be saving it as a .dds file, just like I've done here with this skin. So, and at the end of it, you're going to be doing, I usually do, you're going to be doing a mask data file, something like this. This is what makes parts of your skin reflective and other parts flat. The white areas are going to be glossy, but the black areas are going to be matte. That's how you get some of those really reflective schemes with some of those really dull, flat areas on them, if that's what you're going for. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that today as well. So, the next thing we need to do is go ahead and get started, I guess. Go ahead and close that out. I can go ahead and open this up. And I'm using a template of my test skins. This is probably not going to be the final placement for some of the logos, like the door logos, the hood logo, the trunk logo. Those are probably going to change, but the series logo there, the front Sunoco logos there, the Goodyears where they are, those are probably all going to mostly stay the same. There's going to be some things about the cell stay the same, some things about the cell change, but from here, the process is mostly just going through and painting your scheme however it is that you would want to. Now, before I get started with painting, I want to show you the process how to pull up your car, the body, in Blender. So I'm going to minimize all of these real quick, and I'm going to go back to my mods. I'm going to take the Gen 7 mod, and I'm going to extract all. And this will make sense in a moment why. You can't access a zipped file in Blender for some reason. I'm sure it's because of the fact it's zipped. But you, in order to be able to access the body files, you would need an unzipped copy of the mod. So I'm just going to unzip it real quick. And I'm going to move this to my desktop just so I can have easier access to this. So I should just have two of those open. Cool. We're going to go into Blender. You're going to go to New File, hit General. Click your Delete button in the top right of your keyboard. Should get rid of that cube that's in the middle of the screen. That's all you have to do that. You're going to go down to Import, collada.dae. You're going to open that. I'm going to go to Desktop where my unzipped Gen 7 mod is. I'm going to go to Bodies. I'm going to click Gen 7 Body for DAE. Beautiful. It's been a while since I've actually used Blender. Hold on, it's going to take me a second to figure this one out. Alright, so you're going to, in order to use, I use it with a mouse, you're going to click in on the scroller. You know your clicker has a scroller button inside of it. You press down, it goes. You might be able to hear me clicking it. You're going to click that down and drag. That's how you rotate your cam. And then to zoom in and out, you just scroll up or down, depending on what you're trying to do. We're going to go down to, is it material? Okay, yeah. Material, base color, image texture. And you're going to change your shading settings to viewport shading. So, because that'll turn this to black, this shows no color. Black is the literal definition of no color. White is the literal definition of all color. So that's why this pops up as black. You're going to come down here to where you clicked image texture. You should see new and open. You're going to hit open. Go to desktop or wherever you have your skin file at. I'm going to go to vehicle where I have my skin. I'm going to open up what I have so far, and there we go. This is the template before I deleted the Ford logos, before I did anything else with it. But this is how you pull your skin up in Blender, and you can just continuously update this as you go, and you'll find that it's actually a really nice tool to know how to use instead of having to bounce between the game and your photo editor, whatever you're using, if it's Photoshop, whether it's Paint.net, whatever it is. This is a lot easier to do than it is to bounce between game, and it's also a little less intensive on your system's hardware. Your PC will like that. So we're going to go ahead and get to work on this skin. Base color, I'm probably going to want to go purple. I'm thinking something kind of like Jamie Max 2007, 7, 8, 9, those years, kind of an idea. So I think I'm going to cut my voice from here, and it's just going to be fast forward me working on the skin and bouncing between here and Blender. But you'll hear my voice again as I go back into Blender, so I can show you guys how to update your progress in there. So, alright, let's go ahead and get to work on this. Alright, so I have what I would call a decent stopping point for now. I want to check the progress of my skin. So I'm going to save this as a Photoshop file for now. It's going to take a second. There it goes. I'm going to open Blender back up. And down here where it says crownroyal.color.psd, you're going to hit this file logo that says open image. You're going to hit that, double click it, and it should just automatically change for you. Now, I know I gotta fix some stuff with this rear window, and I know that this front part looks okay. I'm alright with this. Well, I might clean that up so it. No, actually, that blend's okay. It's just when you're up close looking right at the fold lines, it just looks a little off. I'm liking how this is coming along so far. Back here is pretty much my only point of concern. I want this yellow outline to ride the C-pillar edge. The bottom of this be right here at the crease point. So, yeah, we're just going to go back to work on the skin, and we're just going to keep bouncing back and forth from here, and then we'll get to the point where I'm ready to copy this side over. No, I'm probably not going to do that. I'm probably going to get to where I'm okay with this side, and then I'll pick back up on the mic again when I'm ready to start working on the front bumper. Yeah. Let's do that. I'll finish this window corner up in fast speed, and then I'll be back when I'm ready to start on the nose. Alright, so I have that corner of the roof fixed. I have the side done where I want it to be. And let's go ahead and check it out. I decided I wanted a little bit of a gradient at the bottom of this instead of it just being hard solid colors. Just a little bit of something different. So I'm happy with this corner back here as it is. My gradient lines are clear. It fades in pretty nicely. It has a little bit of a rough edge at the top and the bottom, but that's to be expected. At least a little bit, but at least it blends in nice at the end. That's more the part where I was concerned about. No color gaps. I went ahead and filled those in, as you just saw. I may end up doing a touch of purple, like how it's striping up back here, to go into the nose. Um, but yeah, anytime you come back into Blender, you want to change, you want to reload it, you just load it just like that. You come down to the file, you click it, you click your file name, which should just pop right up considering you've already loaded it once before. But yeah, that's all it is. Let's go ahead and get to work on the nose of this. Alright, so I got the driver's side on. I have it lined up with the nose. I've copied the driver's side to the passenger side. I've adjusted the A pillar trim to line up and the C pillar trim to line up on the back, on the side. The way that the roof works on the template is a little weird, so I'm gonna have to go back over right along the roof rails here because I plan on putting a little yellow border along both sides, but I didn't do that to start with because I didn't want to copy and paste that over because it will never be the same on both sides. It just never will. It's just because the way this roof flap cuts into this side, the way that this roof hatch and this flap cut on this side, you can't make them line up exactly the same. You're gonna have to end up free drawing them both, which is okay. It's simple enough to do. Arguably, the hardest part, in my opinion, is getting the rear end to line up, which I think we've got it close, if not 100% perfect. So, what I'm going to be doing on the back is I'm going to be doing a white trim into the grill. I'm going to be doing this yellow all the way across. And then I'm probably, this yellow is going to go into the trim, like for the rear bumper. The white's going to extend all the way across. I don't think I'm going to gradient it in the middle. Actually, I might gradient the white and the yellow into the center here on the bumper. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to gradient that in. So you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and get back to work on that. Alright, so we got both sides, the nose, the rear, all lined up. The A pillars, the C pillars, the roof rails. We just need to get the roof touched up, and then it'll be ready for the logos. So I'll be back to check in with you guys in on that again in a little bit. Alright, so I have all of my trims lined up the way I want it on both sides of the roof. All of my body lines on the scheme itself line up. The gradients on the back look good. The only thing I might do at some point is I might touch up this stripe right here so it's more pointed like this white one and just paint that in as yellow. And I may make this white stripe that I put in, I may make that purple instead. Not 100% decided on that. But besides those couple of changes to the nose, I think it's done, and I would say it's pretty much ready for logos. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. And yeah, I'll check in with you guys again in a minute. Okay, so I've gotten where I'm happy with the logos on this. I may add some associate sponsors to this at some point, but for now I am happy with how this skin looks. So you're going to come in here, you're going to save this file as a .dds, crownroyal.color, whatever you decide to name it, whatever you named it in the materials files, is going to be that .color.dds. And I'm going to, oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to Control Z after saving that, and then save it again as a Photoshop file, because I'm going to do the mask layer for this next, and I'm going to want the Photoshop file open for that. And I'm going to go ahead and close that down, and I'm going to show you guys how to go ahead and import this into BeamNG next. So what we're going to do now is we are going to compress to a zip file. Moved it over here for some reason, but you're going to rename this to whatever you want it to be. This doesn't matter. For now, I'm just going to name this to Season 3 Munger Skin. And this should be good as is to throw into your mods folder. And then you just go ahead and start your game up real quick. And you load up the game, you see if it loads up. Alright, we got the game loaded up. Let's go ahead and try and load up this car. You're going to scroll down to Gen 7 stock car. Pick whatever car it is that you made your skin on that you're trying to load up. In this case, we're going to be using a Mustang. Go down to paint scheme, and it should just pop up SMunger Cup Series Season 3 dash number 35 Stephen Munger, just like as we put it in the scripts. And there she is, all ready to go, looking all pretty. Man, I really like how this one came out. I really like how this came out a ton. It pops really nicely in BeamNG. I decided I'm not going to do the mask data file for this, only because I like having the entire thing being this glossy color. I just don't really want to have parts of it be flat, parts of it be metallic the way that a test scheme would be. So maybe on another day I'll do another video where I go over how to do like test style schemes, you know, like what you would see in the old test sessions at Daytona and stuff, where it's just matte black schemes with the glossy numbers and whatnot, like what I'm using in the SMunger Cup Series test sessions. Maybe I'll do another video on another day going over how to do that, but this video is already long enough for today, so I think we'll just leave it at this. This is the number 35 Crown Royal Ford Mustang that I might be driving full-time for the SMunger Cup Series Season 3, because I just really like the way that this came out. So, anyway, I think I'm going to call it there. We're not going to do that mask data file, but it is easy enough to do. So, we'll just do that on another day, on another scheme. Alright, if you've gotten to this point of the video, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of your support with this channel, and with the SMunger Cup Series as well. If this video helped you with making your own BeamNG.drive skins for the Next Gen mod, you're welcome. Give it a like, share it with others in the community who might also need help making their own skins for this mod. I appreciate all your support with this channel, with this series. The Charlotte race is the next race coming up. It should be up very soon, I hope before Christmas. So, anyways, give me a subscribe if you're not already. I appreciate it a ton. And this is Steve signing out. I'll see you in the next video.